everyone. We are here at KubeCon at the Armo booth, and I'm here with Ben. Ben, how's your experience been?
So, KubeCon is awesome. It's great. Everyone's coming together. The whole open source community is around. So I think it's great to be here.
Yeah, and so what we're doing over here is, since KubeCon is about to end, we're in Detroit, North America 2022. I'm speaking with industry leaders in their specific domains to learn more about what people are speaking about. For example, in this case, security. Yeah. So how has the traction been on your booth? You're getting a lot of nice people coming in, discussions going on?
Yeah, so actually, we have a lot of traction, a lot of people are coming in. Okay, security is obviously, a hot topic. In the last three KubeCons, everyone is on the way to, address the basic security questions during their adoption journey in Kubernetes. And then I think that, these discussions will be around for a few more KubeCon.
You mentioned that you're getting a lot of traction at the booth, and I'm sure you might have attended a lot of talks and the keynote sessions. According to you and the discussions that you've had at this KubeCon, what would you like to share in terms of the challenges folks face when it comes to Kubernetes security?
So I think that one of the major hottest topics today is actually the supply chain security. Okay, how do you know that the applications, what we are running under Kubernetes is actually the applications we wanted to, and there are no, after all the SolarWinds attack and all these problems they were raised, where Kubernetes and the cloud native security can answer these questions. And I think that this is awesome. This is one of the hottest topics around, and we'll see a nice work around tech security they are trying to solve here. But there are all the recent questions which we had even before, how you are configuring correctly your Kubernetes applications. How do you know if you have vulnerabilities? How do you know that, all your RBACs are configured correctly? So all these things are coming up and, returning, and folks are trying to sort this out.
And what are some of the best practices you would recommend folks to, so if someone wants to get started with it, implement it, some of the best practices in their own, companies, where would you head them to?
So I think there are a lot of good discussions about, Kubernetes best practices, but you can read them and go after them, and, you can learn about how to set up your RBAC properly, okay, how to do least privilege, how to configure your secrets properly and handle them correctly. Use in Kubernetes, use the own secret object, okay, for it. But in general, I think my major messages for the people is don't start your Kubernetes security inside your cluster. Start your Kubernetes security journey, okay, already in your GitHub project. Okay, start with your GitHub action. Only accept secure Kubernetes objects into your GitHub and deliver your stuff to the cluster from there directly. So don't just look at your cluster because it may be too late. Look, where you started the thing.
Are there any talks that you really liked in the security domain?
Wow. So there are all these talks by Michael Lieberman, okay, which I think there were great talks around these supply chain questions and all the initiatives they are leading around Google and, the global supply chain, stores, and where you can store your signatures of your software modules and from where you can validate them. And I have to tell you that yesterday there was an eBPF talk about how to generate policies, Kubernetes policies, from learning how your applications are behaving. And I think it was this is a futuristic talk. This is not going to happen tomorrow, but I think really that in 2023, this is going to be a next hot topic.
Amazing. So speaking of which, I believe you already answered it briefly, but if you're talking about a few years down the line, what are some of the trends that we are likely to see in the security domain?
So I really think that we'll address the supply chain, I think, in the next year. But then we'll turn our heads to network segmentation inside the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, defining who's allowed to talk to whom inside your cluster, and not just in the old sense of putting up firewalls, but learning in your development how your application is behaving and automatically applying this behavior in your cluster is going to be a major thing. I really believe in automation and, really using all the good things this new world can give us. And I also think that sooner or later, okay, all the cosine features will be, a big thing around the Kubernetes security space, and eBPF, obviously.
Amazing. eBPF is something I've heard quite a lot. I was at the Captain booth. They said the same thing.
Right.
Last question. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about CubeScape?
So CubeScape is an open source project, okay, created by Armo, but we are contributing it to CNCF. This is, actually a security tool, okay, which should, come with you from your early Kubernetes journey and follow you through the whole steps and, follow you with all these security features from scanning your configurations, image vulnerabilities, RBUCs, then going through the next steps of prioritizing your security problems and your exposure, okay, of problems, and going into the direction also of creating policies, network policies, and application policies around Kubernetes application.
Amazing. Well, thanks a lot for sharing, Ben, and really great talking to you. If you want to learn more about it, I'll leave some links in the description below. To see more clips from KubeCon, check out Civo TV on YouTube. Thank you.